be in a situation, Dibakar, where if the first was ahead of its time, this is off its time?
Let's say it's 5 minutes in the future. बेसिकली कास्टिंग में फट गई हमारी, मतलब खत्म हो गया, एकदम खत्म हो गया.
Someone said that I think of myself as a low-key troublemaker.
And I said,
that's exactly who you are.
Right,
You're a low-key troublemaker. Dibakar, it is so lovely to have you back on Film Companion. I feel like it's been too long.
It has been.
Hannah, how are you?
I love the way. You see, you didn't ask, how are you? You said, how are you? And that's the kind of how are you I'm always getting. My friend called up from Delhi, said, how are you, Dibakar? Then somebody else said, hey, nice to meet you. How are you?
So you can sense the concern in our
so that concern. So yeah, it's been basically my last feature film, Tees, the Netflix original, they decided not to release. And before that, Sandeep or Pinky Ferrar came out for its first attempt to release on COVID first wave.
Yeah.
And then it came out for its final release on COVID second wave. Sorry.
You have to laugh, right?
So
because how else can you process this?
Yeah. And then the way Amazon released it, nobody knew. On the day of the release, Arjun calls me up and says, "Sir, release ho gayi hai." It's there. I said, no. So after that, whatever happened, that's great. But that's one thing that happened. Then by that time, Netflix, the Tees had started and I was deep into it and finishing it. Somewhere around 2022, it became clear to me that, Netflix will not release it. So from there onwards, life started again. Funnily enough, in Tees, where I was showing 2042, a future, there was like, कोई किसी को बोलता है आपने हाथ मारी थी ना हाँ virtually they winked at each other and they're hooking up.
Correct.
So it's a wink, send me a wink or whatever. So those kind of things are happening as we speak.
Yeah.
And LSD is being made as we speak. We kept on shooting till about a few days back.
Really?
Yes.
Because why? Because
the film was making itself, and I'm not kidding. Because we put a story, then certain social media things tell us that okay, you can tell it like this. Then you tell the story like that. Now I'm revealing the film, unfortunately. But the thing is, the way of telling of the story was taking in the language of just not, let's say you and I, it's a scene and somebody's putting a camera like that and he's telling a story. But we are not telling the story like that. We are telling the story through my Insta feed of this event.
Right. So it's a version of a version.
It's a version of a version. And it keeps on going like that. So new things came up and we tried to kind of put it in.
Dibakar, you somewhat said that I think of myself as a low-key troublemaker.
And I said.
Which is perfect. That's exactly who you are.
Yeah.
You're a low-key troublemaker. You're not making cinema to comfort us. Your life is about disturbing us. It's about jolting us. It's about sort of just grabbing our shoulders and shaking us, right? So the trailer for LSD2 has 2 warnings on YouTube. Pehle bolte hain inappropriate content. When you click on it, it goes to adult warning. Then you get to all these people behaving very badly. I want to know more. What is this fresh new hell that you're going to put us into?
I don't think there's anything fresh or new about the hell that I'm putting us into. The hell we are already in.
Right.
आप सुबह उठ के कौन सा वाला हेडलाइन सबसे पहले पढ़ते हो? मैं तो वो वाला पढ़ता हूँ. देखिए कैसे लड़की 12 माले के छत से जंप करके गिर के मरती है. उसी पे जाता है ना पहले. या डेथ. I do history, let's say on my YouTube and whatever search and all that. So I get the death of Che Guevara or the last pictures of such and such persons hanging. So I realized that there is this fascination.
With the morbid.
With the morbid, with the hurtful, with the rageful, denying and turning away from everything human and, how shall I put it, restorative within us. For example, you and I speak. I'm here to sell my film, I know. But when I was speaking to you about my kids, I know that you're a parent. So we are trying to keep that aside from all of this. But here, there is no running away from this. From this, there are lyrics, हमारी फिल्म में है, डब्बे के अंदर काला समंदर, समंदर में हम खुश गोते खाएं. तो ये हमारे फिल्म में ये गाना है, तो this is what's happening. But I also find it wildly funny. मैं मीम ठीक वैसे ही देखता हूँ जैसे मैं 2007-8 में या 4, 5 या 6 में दिल्ली के कैरेक्टर्स को देखता था. जब पहली बार आई वॉज टोल्ड कि हाँ भैया आपने दिल्ली या कैरेक्टर ऐसे देखा है. सो कैरेक्टर मैंने मतलब थे वो. बट टुडे आई एम वॉचिंग अ न्यू वर्ल्ड बिकॉज दिल्ली शैली हो गया मेरा अभी. मैं तो वट एवर आई एम आया. सो looking at the versions of people and how they behave and what they do is closely connected to how we see them. They know we are watching them. We know we are watching them, and they know we know.
Yeah.
So it's a play. We are colluding in it together. This bite that will go out, it'll be an interplay between us and the audience that sees it. ये एक हमारा अपना लिखा हुआ ड्रामा है. कौन देखता है, कौन नहीं देखता है, किस लिए देखता है, कौन स्किप करता है. All of that is our new world now.
Yeah. But I have to ask you this. So 2010, the first LSD comes out, okay? Groundbreaking in terms of how you use digital, how you use the found footage, the things the film said about voyeurism, consumerism, patriarchy, caste, right? I remember in the second film, which was, of course, the debut of Rajkumar Rao, there's a character who says, camera khazane ki chabi hai, right? And in the next 14 years, from then till now, it has only become a bigger and bigger khazane ki chabi. We all have cameras. We're all bigger voyeurs because of social media. We're all deeply embedded in each other's projected lives. It's such a vast, troubling space. How did you decide these are the stories I want to tell?
I didn't decide all of them myself.
इसमें भी 3 हैं?
3 हैं. इसमें भी 3 हैं. I didn't all of them myself. My writers, Pratik Vats and Shubham,
who also did E Balayu.
I mean, Pratik and Shubham did E Balayu, and those who have seen the film then will know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, superb.
So they come from a very strong position of their own. Whatever that position is, वो नहीं बताऊँगा, वो फिल्म में दिख जाएगी. They come from a very strong position of their own. So they said कि उन्हें ज़्यादा कुछ कहा नहीं, but they stuck to their positions. That really helped. तो मेरे पास 3 कहानियाँ थीं. उनमें से एक कहानी मैंने कहा सर इसको ना फेंक दो.
Rejected.
इसको फेंक.
हाँ.
It's very nice. फेंक दो.
हाँ.
So वो फेंकी. Then they came up with the stories. I know that there is a character in our film called Kulu. Kulu की कहानी प्रतीक के बहुत पास है, शुभम के भी पास है, और शुभम से शायद वो हमारा जो गेम पापी हमारा जो कैरेक्टर है वो उसके पास है, और नूर मेरे पास है. तो इस तरह से कुछ चल रहा था. बट धीरे धीरे वी स्टार्टेड फॉरगेटिंग कौन क्या कर रहा है. लेकिन कहानियों के पीछे शुभम एंड प्रतीक आर द पिलर्स दैट आर स्टैंडिंग.
And what is the process by which you cast your actors? Because I read that you auditioned like 6,000 people. Is this true?
किसने बोला?
पता नहीं, छपा था, नेट पे था.
देखो, वेदर में क्या बोलते हैं? 92 degrees feels like 94. तो कुछ भी हो feels like 6,000. बेसिकली कास्टिंग में फट गई हमारी, मतलब खत्म हो गया, एकदम खत्म हो गए. सो बोनिता वाज बिकॉज we had 2 finalists just like LSD, and we workshopped with them just like LSD, and we said no to one person, and she was in tears, and I want to work with her again.
Nice.
So that's there. because neck to neck. Then you decide character, ye, wo, and all that. So you're not looking at a transgender actor as a fetish, for Christ's sake. You're looking at a character, you're looking at an actor. So the transgender community has just started getting access as the third gender normally into film. It's just started.
Yeah.
So the number of people, first of all, you're already constrained by the character's need, age, socioeconomic condition. India is a racist country, skin color, build. How do you define? Those are all symbols that we put out to each other.
Yeah.
Okay. So in India today, a fair-skinned person will walk on the street with a little more confidence for a similar person who's got dark skin and similar circumstances, correct? So keeping all those things in mind, that racism matrix of India, the socioeconomic matrix of India, age, character, acting ability, and now 3 genders. So it was a whole new world. So काफी तेल निकला. And then one of the other actor, the Game Papi story. There's a character called Game Papi.
I love that.
He's an 18
Game
year old
Papi
boy.
is just superb.
So he's 18 years of age, and he's doing horrible things. And we had to make sure that we cast somebody who was above 18 but could stand in for under 18 or 18. Because tomorrow, if somebody wants to sort of, just
Object.
Yeah. We are living in a world of objection and objectification. So, दोनों साथ चल रहे हैं. तो इसीलिए खत्म हो गए casting करते and so everything. Abhinav, there was another person in the fray. That person and Abhinav, I workshop for 2 weeks or something. Then that person had to be told that it's Abhinav. So all of that. So
those are hard calls, but you have to take them.
I'm not getting any younger. So 2010, I was like, whatever. I was a baby. Now I was too old for this shit, man. Fuck.
Okay, and then you and your producer Ekta landed up at Bigg Boss. What was this like?
There was no and about it. There was Ekta, and by an invisible magnetic cord, I was attached to her. And wherever Ekta went, I went there. Wherever Ekta stood, I stood there. Wherever Ekta went from there, I stood there. Wherever Ekta went and spoke to whoever, I stood there. And then as Ekta came back, I came back attached to her. So that was lovely. But Ekta told me, sir, aap mat bolna.
कुछ नहीं बोला.
नहीं, इसलिए because it's a Bigg Boss announcement. We are talking about casting. We are talking about that world. It's a part of LSD2, the film.
Yeah.
She knows that. So she was basically the moment it happened, उसके अगले दिन लिफ्ट में रिकॉग्निशन बढ़ जाती है.
Yeah.
सबसे पहले पता चलता है ना कि एलिवेटर में आपको देखा बिग बॉस में खड़े हुए थे आपकी कोई फिल्म रिलीज हो रही है, बहुत अच्छा लगा. तो वो चलता रहता है मैसेजेस आते रहते हैं, hey, you're in Bigg Boss. Everybody has seen it.
Yeah.
So that's also Ekta and I were, interested in talking about.
But I think of the two of you as such distinct personalities. How does this relationship work? Like, she backed you back in the day. LSD was such a...
You'll have to ask Ekta that.
No, but from your end.
Basically, I have no idea why Ekta backs me. Okay? Ekta knows she's not going to make too much of money. Ekta knows that it's going to be a very hard sell.
Yeah.
Ekta knows that she'll have to, like last time, she has to bundle it with many things and really market it in a way that, the project remains what it is. And the fact that Ekta knows subversion.
Yeah, that she does.
She knows subversion. So, probably from that point of view, she backs me. And, you don't look a gift horse too much in the mouth. अभी मेरे जैसा filmmaker घोसला लकी ये शंघाई मुकेश बना के अभी तक जिंदा हूँ. That itself is a miracle. Don't ask. And मतलब जो भी करें मतलब I mean I'm grateful that there are people like this who are deeply in the commercial world. They are handling studios and whatever. And I mean, it's another aspect of our lives which is there in our film.
Yeah.
The insanity of corporate life that we have become. So they have to handle all that. But I think Ekta really wants to keep on doing stuff like this. And yeah, I mean, I'm not questioning कि क्यों कर रही है क्या कर रही है भाई जो हो रहा है अच्छा हो रहा है मैं हूँ यहाँ पे.
Okay, here's what intrigues me, Dibakar. So your DOPs are Anand Bansal, who did Gamaghar, who did Elephant Whisperers, Riju Das, who's one of the DOPs on All That Breathes. Right? These are very accomplished artists. The look of LSD though is purposeful grunge, right? It's supposed to look raw and improvised and in the moment. How do you design that?
Not really now.
How do you do it then?
Because now we are always prepared. We are always made up. We are always set up. We are always trying to talk visually. And the way this lighting says that it's a podcast or it's a thing which is slightly elite and seen by, people with taste and all that. So the color, the lighting, everything is a narrative. Earlier, the camera was new for us. So we were being ourselves in front of the camera without us knowing. That time has passed. We know now that from, waking up to going to sleep, we have a camera on us. Our whole lives are becoming performances. So that played in this film visually. So you will see a range of visuals which is, we had tremendous debates about. Lots
like
of.
What? What did you guys debate about?
मेरा एक स्पेसिफिक तरह का टेकिंग था है जो राइटर्स ने उन्होंने कहा भैया आप जो कर रहे हो करो आप डायरेक्टर है हमें नहीं पता वी आर नॉट सॉर्ट ऑफ साइनिंग ऑन टू दिस आप देख लो और वन ऑफ द DOPs ऑल्सो सेट के यार ये तो आई मीन सो दिस थिंग तो वो फाइट को कैसे रिजॉल्व किया क्या हुआ
to find the visual language of the film.
हाँ that was
it's a tough one.
It was a tough one, genuinely a tough one, and I'm glad that we had strong heads in the team. There was no sycophancy or the sense of awe, something like that. It was actually me trying to convince everybody. So that part worked well, I have a feeling.
Because you said, Dibakar, that when Ekta saw the first film, she had two questions. Why is the camera shaking so much? And who's going to watch this film? Right?
Yeah.
Now,
I think those questions have become perennial and eternal between Ekta and me. Okay? So, definitely that pushes and pulls happen. But look at this person. I'm just saying it very objectively. That person is fighting.
yeah.
That person is arguing. That person is, being a, whatever. And she also feels the same way. But she's doing the film.
Correct.
She's interested in the film. I feel, this could be my fantasy, that she's a little more interested in LSD than her other films. Because other films, they are all there. But this is
the outlier.
This is something that I can feel that she is really close to her heart. It's close to her emotion points.
Right.
But I'm not speaking for Ekta. Ekta might completely say, no, it's all this thing. You'll have to ask Ekta.
Sure. But Dibakar, speak a little more about this visual language, right? Because a shaky camera can be a barrier, right?
100.
As a director, how do you decide that I can push it so far and not beyond this? How do you draw that line?
Ekta helps.
She's like, there's the line.
Ekta helps. So that's there. Ekta also helps, और also when you see the edit, पता चल जाता है क्या boring है, क्या non-boring है, क्या hold कर रहा है, क्या नहीं
So
hold कर
you're
रहा है.
not gonna not have a shaky camera because you feel कि audience को समझ नहीं आएगा and all. That's fine as long as it's gripping.
See, the thing is, shaky camera से पहले के बहुत सारे thought process हैं. The camera is just somewhere on step 3 and step 4. The first filter that you have to look at it from is, what is this? Which version is this? You know?
Right.
What kind of a version is this? What avatar of which original is this? Whatever. Okay. Once you figure that logic out, you don't really ask those questions whether the camera is shaky or whatever, because you're taking those formats from existing life all around us, like this interview. So you know how that interview looks. In this kind of an interview, the camera will not shake. In a reality show, in Bigg Boss, the camera will not shake. There'll be hundreds of cameras to catch any arbitrary moment. That's what our film is about. It's hundreds of cameras. It's not one camera. It's literally hundreds of cameras.
Wow.
All around us.
Yeah.
All around us.
You know, one of the funniest stories that I read, which was from one of your interviews only, in the first film, you were in some theatre and there was this family sitting in front, or the father had ordered pizza, right? And as soon as he was about to get into that pizza,
I've spoken to these guys about
beheading ho gayi.
खाने का taste खराब कर दिया.
And he said, खाने का taste खराब कर दिया. Are you anticipating these sort of reactions again?
And I don't know. I don't think so. I think the reaction will be much tougher. And the reaction
in what way? What is tougher?
See, the thing is, in the last 14 years, there's a new generation of people.
Yeah. More camera savvy, more performance savvy, more everything.
There's going to be a huge and much larger section of, let's say, 25-year-olds or 22 years old who did not watch LSD because they were toddlers or, kids at that time.
It's too brutal, yeah.
And no, first of all, it's an adult film. They don't know anything about its existence because their parents won't tell them about those kind of films.
Yeah.
That world is closed. My daughter just got to know that I'm making a film called LSD. Okay.
And then what did you tell her? She asked what LSD stood for?
Or everywhere. She went around the whole society asking for, my father's making a film LSD. Do you think you can tell me what this means? And? My father won't tell me. So
I'm sure she knows now.
No. Okay. Jesus. So anyways, so that those kids didn't see. For them, LSD2 doesn't mean anything except that it's a film. They are not relating to the history of LSD because they were kids. And now we know that over the last 14 years, the window of forgetting has widened and widened, and the window of remembering is becoming shorter and shorter. Yeah. Shorter attention span, shorter memories, fads which go even faster and faster, micro fads and all that. So there's a whole generation to which LSD means nothing. They're watching LSD2, hopefully. They'll just see that it's called LSD2. Okay, fine, I'll figure out what that shit is. Well, let's watch this film. You know, वो बड़ी वाली फिल्म के हाउसफुल है, मैं ये देखता हूँ. No, that's how LSD started. दो फिल्म हाउसफुल चल रही थी वहाँ. भैया हमने आपकी फिल्म देखी, वो हाउसफुल चल रही थी, बहुत अच्छी लगी. So anyways, so they're going to consume the film in a completely new way. And well, we'll have to figure out what that way is.
But you might be in a situation, Dibakar, where if the first was ahead of its time, this is off its time.
Let's say it's 5 minutes in the future. You know?
Really?
It's 5 minutes in the future.
Nice.
So, I mean, you feel that 5-minute lag. Yeah.
Nice, nice. Okay, you know, the last time we had spoken, which was around Sandeep or Pinky, like 2.5 years ago, right? You talked about how the free period of content platforms is going to be done soon. You had said that now it's going to be like, you know, fair-skinned heroes and heroines with washboard abs are going to take over OTT platforms
for some
as well.
time. For some time.
So it's a natural kind of movement. Now, of course, you've had this experience with Tees where it's not going to release, I'm assuming, because politically it's too sensitive to release it.
Probably because the only reason that I was given by Netflix at the time, they said that this is not the right time to release it.
Sure. So we can just
that's
extrapolate from there that it's a...
Yeah, we'll have to extrapolate.
It's too fraught.
Yeah.
It's too
fraught a time.
Too fraught a time, right? What is your sense, Dibakar, given all of these experiences, of where the streaming world is at now?
I don't know where the streaming world is at. I don't care about the streaming world. I unfortunately care about myself a little better, a little more. So I don't know about the streaming platforms, but it's going to get worse.
You think?
For us, for directors like us.
But Dibakar, like you said before, that the fact that somebody like you, who's always from Khosla Ka Ghosla, which may have been a slice of life comedy slash, but even then, the things you were saying, Dibakar, were tough, right? You've always spoken tough truths. And you are here.
Our film has a line.
Huh?
What a truth! What a truth! You'll see that.
But Dibakar, the fact that you exist and you have a film releasing and you can continue to make films speaks to your immense artistry, but also to the fact that the audience is backing you.
Well, to that extent, the only thing I can say is that एक मेरी फिल्म थी मैंने दिखाई कोई PR जो हमारे कर रहे थे, very senior PR executive. She saw the film, then she went out, made lots of calls on the, and she said, Dibakar, this film should be released. And then she walked off very tensely. Okay. So I've been, making films which should be released for so long. I think from there I have gone to a sort of, status where my biodata is Dibakar Banerjee, maker of films that can be released. I'm aspiring for that. So I don't know about the streaming world. This is what I want.
You and Anurag, and then some of the filmmakers that came a little later, Abhishek Chaubey, you really changed what Hindi cinema looked like, felt like, sounded like. When you look back, Dibakar, at whatever, the last 15 odd years, do you have a sense of you did good?
I am not looking at my past already as an obituary. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I'm not looking
at... No, but you've made so many films. And each one is different from the other. You've dabbled in so many.
I feel good about that. I feel the difference in them or the attempt in them. But now even the difference is becoming lesser without it being same. If you start looking from lust stories onwards,
sure,
you will see a change in language or concerns or whatever. So that way, I'm more concerned about what I'm going to do because time nahi hai.
Yeah.
2 girls. Time nahi.
Yeah. Time really nahi hai.
Aage chalo.
And well, now you made your first sequel, so who knows where we go from here?
I don't know. Because one thing is that, look, it's a sequel, genuinely a sequel in terms of mood, in terms of what it concerns itself for. It's a genuine kind of a air to what, genuinely. But as a film, the child is so different from the parent that I am seeing it as a film again. I've forgotten what LSD1 is.
Right.
I actually forgotten what it looks like. I haven't seen it for about 8 years.
You didn't go back to see it before this one?
But completely not.
Really?
I haven't seen it for about 7-8 years. I haven't seen
it. You've forgotten Loki Local?
I have. I mean, when you tell me, yes.
Loki Local.
When you tell me, I remember. But, it's the film is gone for me. So it's a new film.
So this is a whole new thing.
It's a first film. Unfortunately, that's what happens with all of my films. Whenever I get into it, I start regretting why the fuck did I start this film, and it's gonna, like that happens. Then something happens, then something happens. So it's like that all over again. That's good.
Yeah.
That complete newness of it and that complete jumping into the darkness without a parachute, that I'm going through right now.
That sounds amazing, and I have to tell you, I don't think you've ever made a film that I didn't like.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I can't wait to see LSD2.
Thank you. आप भी आइएगा, अपने परिवार को मत लाइएगा, आप भी आइएगा.